So good evening, everyone. It is 6:37, and I'm calling to order our regular meeting of our Woodbridge Town Plan and Zoning Commission here in person for the first time in well over a year. So it's good to see everyone and to welcome a new face, Kathy, to our group. Great to have you. Thank you for volunteering your time and your service to join our commission. We have a pretty light agenda today, so there's no new business, correct? No applications, other things coming in, and none came since the printing of our agenda, so that's fine. So we can go straight to our work session, which we have just a few items on that work session. The first of which is a discussion regarding the follow-up actions from the large sort of work that we had done over the last 6 to 9 months to, as we discussed during those proceedings, add what I would call a conforming change, where that sort of large change to our zoning regulations would apply in all residential districts, including the ones that are in the mixed-use districts, which could not be done in the context of that earlier proceeding. And then a second was a request to take a look at our accessory dwelling unit provisions and provide some updates and improvements to those. So, Chris, procedurally, we are doing this in advance of scheduling and having a public...
We have to discuss what the verbiage will say so that we can do the appropriate legal notices and notice to the Council of Governments.
Correct. So we can put down on... So we're going to draft those now...
Correct.
For a public hearing at our next regular meeting, or was that something we were going to schedule?
I think part of the hope was that by scheduling the other amendments that you adopted to take place on September 7th, that you might hold a special meeting and adopt anything like this before then, so then everything would be done in one fell swoop, kind of, rather than having to amend them twice.
Gotcha. Which would mean a special meeting in either July or August.
Correct. And I'm thinking probably August, just to give Council of Government enough time to, because have you got a meeting scheduled yet, Andy?
Yes, there's a meeting this Thursday, so 2 days from now,
Yeah,
and then
so I
there
think
wouldn't
it's
be
kinda
another meeting until the what would be I guess the first Thursday of August, whatever that is.
Okay. So it'd probably be better to do it after their meeting in August, just to make sure that we get comments back.
Okay. That's fine. And so that would then, as a special meeting, require its own notice and...
It's just the normal special meeting notice where it would be a public hearing and then appropriate action regarding those. So.
Okay. So if there are those two items, the first one I think is easier, which I think simply takes what we did and just simply adds the same opportunities for accessory dwelling units, two-family housing, and multifamily housing in basically all the mixed-use districts that we kind of skipped over because we couldn't do it in
Are you doing, so the only mixed-use district that you have is what we call GBA, which is in general business, and it's just a portion of the GBA. It's not the whole GBA, or GB.
Okay. And that's it?
That's the only mixed-use district that you got. Yep.
So I think that would, and I apologize, where's the best place to sort of look at?
I think it's Exhibit A is where we did the zoning changes. So No, I'm sorry, Exhibit A is the Plan of Conservation and Development, Exhibit B is the zoning's regs. So we would add another, column in here for GBA on page 2, I assume. Wherever we have columns, we would add the GBA.
Chris, what page are you on now?
Yeah.
In Exhibit B,
Oh, on the page,
they're not numbered
Oh, I see.
consecutively.
I got it, all right.
I don't got it.
It's page 1, it's Exhibit B, Mr. Chairman, page 1 under Exhibit. Yeah.
Early in the document,
All right.
or late? I'm just kind of flipping through it. Exhibit B. I'm now with you. So it would only be adding a column for the GBA.
That's the only mixed-use district that you currently have.
And it would basically be adding a column
I think every table,
in every table.
well, yeah, because and then the only other thing you'd have to look at is coverage, because he never addressed coverage.
And there's also would be an update to table 3.1.
Yes. Well, yes, because we added in this, the mixed. Well,
So maybe I was wrong with it. This was as simple as I thought it was, just simply adding it.
yeah. Because I don't think we actually changed, based on this, we didn't really change table 3.1, unless you're finding it in an area that I'm not.
Well,
The section 3.4 is its own section.
correct, but there is this last page 7 of the handout you gave us today
Okay,
that shows table 3.1 that
yep,
has this sort of new,
the 3.4D, yep.
right, but also the two-family. So in essence, looking at this table, the GBA column,
Is there, so we would.
we would
you
just
do it-
populate it. with-
Yeah, you would put P, I assume, for accessory dwelling units, although there's no current. Right now, that's just a business, a business district. Although there are a few houses up on Hazel. Yeah. And there's a couple on Selden. So you could leave it in there. And then you would put a P under when served by public water and public sewer, because that's all served by that.
Mm-hmm.
You want to cover it just by putting an S in there for when not served by public water and public sewer?
Yes.
For consistency, sure.
And then, and we're still, are we leaving the 3.3 CC? We're not adding in that as a permitted use because it's only permitted under section 3.4 now, right?
I think you lost me there. The,
Okay, the first line, which is 3.3 CC,
yes.
and then you have 3.CCC1, single family. You're not changing that in that district, you're only allowing it under the new 3.4 section, the opportunity housing.
So right now, you could not have a single-family
Right,
house
it's
in the
just-
GBA.
Yeah, except for the ones that were there prior to that zone change. So that right now, the only thing that you can allow that's residential in there is on the second floor, an apartment
Over a commercial,
over a commercial.
fine. But there are existing single-family units in that district.
There's, I think, 5 or 6 houses, yeah.
What about 3.3 CC.2? If they wanted kind of just a
Yeah, I would
small
put a
group,
P in there
a P
for
there, sure.
an accessory dwelling unit, should they choose to, yeah.
Yep.
To make it equitable for anybody that has them.
And again, that would be consistent with just translating everything we did for the last 9 months into this
Yeah,
new, the GBA zone, this one piece of our zoning that is mixed use.
Because we weren't including the GBA in our discussions, is that what happened?
Because we weren't allowed to because they didn't ask for it.
Understood, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So we're just trying to reconcile the GBA with the decision we already made.
Right, and just
Okay.
harmonize that that is a similar, though small, area.
yeah.
Okay, I understand, okay, all right, okay.
So under this, the only thing on that table would be the last 3 lines under that initial section.
Yes, so that would
Yeah.
be having the two-family opportunity
And the accessory dwelling unit.
in an accessory dwelling unit for any single-family homes that happen to still be in that district.
And
And then,
for some reason, he already had SE under GBA.
is that a holdover from our current regulations?
No. Well, can't be because 3EE. No, because we don't have a 3.3 EE. Or maybe we do. Yes, we do. We have congregate communities.
No, that was already there.
No, it wasn't. Okay. Yep. So we'll just leave it there.
So I'll make a motion to adopt the changes as just discussed.
and set it for a hearing.
Second.
So moved and
Set
seconded.
it for a hearing.
Any further discussion?
Did you say this has to go through a hearing?
Yes.
Right. Okay, understood. Okay.
Because we're doing a change to our zoning
Yes,
regulations.
understood.
And just so I'm clear, the multifamily dwelling was also part of that 3.4D when not in a public water supply watershed would be a special exception, just to be consistent.
So the only question I would have for you is in the table on page 3, where it talks about.
Of Exhibit 3,
Exhibit B,
B.
where
Thank
we
you.
have columns for setbacks and density and building coverage. I don't know if you want to just keep what you had. We didn't have density,
I think the density would be consistent.
so that would remain the 15. And then it had, maximum building coverage was 33.3%.
That was in our existing,
Right. And maximum lot coverage, we did not have. It said not applicable.
in our current, where are you looking in our current
In our
regulations?
current regs, I'm on page 60, under the bulk and dimensional data.
We need to get you a hard copy if. So the math that we did on the maximum lot coverage, which we didn't have for any of the previous ones.
Right.
Looks like it's an additional half of the percentage of the building coverage. So half of 50% is 25%, you add that to it, you get
Yeah.
75% in the T3.
So if we have 33 point,
So the math
Three.
is a little more challenging with 33 and a third divided by half.
so if you just, you want to round it up,
Sure.
so if we just went to 50, I think you're pretty much there, because your 30% coverage went to 45. So if we have 33.3 maximum building coverage and we go to 50% maximum lot coverage, or is that too small?
Nope,
That's okay.
that's consistent. So that would be 33.3% building coverage and 50%
Maximum lot coverage.
maximum lot coverage.
And then we just use the same parking area setbacks. Where did we get that from? I think we were just using Well, to be consistent with what we did to all the T3s in this one, we got rid of the 60 feet on Amity Road, so we have 10 feet on other roadways. So would you want to stick with 10, which is the same for residential D3 and BB? Well, except BB is 20 feet.
So I think I think it's fine to keep it as it is in the current, right, so not changing it.
So you want to use 10 feet?
Well, it says 60 feet on Amity Road and 10 feet on other roadways.
Okay.
'Cause
And
it-
the side and the rear, what do you want to do?
Again, I think keeping those the same
The
as
5?
they were.
And maximum number of stories, I think we had, was 3. Okay. Okay. Before I send it off anywhere, I'll send out a draft, just so everybody can look at it and make sure that it looks okay.
And the spirit here is trying to be consistent with from the tables on page 3 here, they generally just took existing, what was existing, and didn't change on the setbacks or other sorts of things.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
so is that, we need a vote on this, Chris?
If Andy just wants to amend it into his motion, and we'll just do it that way.
So amended.
Seconded.
Amended and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Okay.
Okay.
And so now you're gonna do accessory
Yeah,
apartments, and Kathy had, well, you mentioned what you said, because you're the member.
Sure, I just thought, I was assuming that we'd be going with what the state had recently passed in legislation regarding accessory dwelling units. And they had they said a maximum of 1,000 square feet or 30% of the primary dwelling unit. And that was what was in the Public Act now, 21-92, that was passed on the Senate bill.
and so 1,000, so our current max
600.
is 600, so it's going from 600 to 1,000, or 30%, whichever is
Let's say.
greater, or,
I'm not sure. I looked at a summary of it and didn't designate whatever was greater, so I'm not sure.
I think it would have, by necessity, it would have to be interpreted as whichever is greater.
Yeah.
okay. I think that makes sense.
If it's a limit, then that will be whichever was greater. Right? Or am I misunderstanding the purpose?
Well, it could be either way. I mean, if you wanted it about 1,000,
It's either a minimum of 1,000 or a max of 30%. But you always would want 1,000.
It wouldn't be a minimum of 1,000, you can make it smaller.
No, that's the whole issue, is that the state now says 1,000.
So if you build an accessory dwelling unit, you must make it 1,000 square feet?
I don't think
That's
that's-
what I believe the state has said.
Oh,
Okay.
Because what we had right now was 600.
Yes,
Which
yes.
everybody was saying was too small.
Yes.
Right, but that's
yes,
our maximum.
Yes.
You
Right.
could build a 400.
Yeah, you could.
Right, so I think if they're saying the new maximum is 1,000, you
Yeah,
could
I
build,
think it's a maximum, not a minimum.
you could still build an 800 if
Okay.
that fit your needs. But I guess the question is it, I don't know, does it have to be,
So if the main dwelling unit is only 1,500 square feet, then the maximum size of the accessory dwelling unit could only be 500 square feet.
is that,
In
Right.
that example, that would be
Yeah.
the maximum. So if we say the greater of 1,000 feet or 30%, in that example, the greater would be the 1,000 feet.
1,000, so you could have a 1,500 square foot primary building
And
and
a,
1,000.
and 1,000 foot accessory, if
Or
that's,
you just go for a two-family.
Which you could do now too, yes. But I like the idea of being consistent with the new state statute, but I don't recall, was the state statute's language that we all now need to conform to that, or was it required or suggested?
I believe you're required unless you decide to opt out of it. But I would imagine we were not thinking about opting out. To opt out, I think, requires a vote of 2/3 of the P and Z commission.
Well, we're gonna have to look at that legislation. Did it pass? Did it get signed by the governor?
Yes, it
Yes,
got
Okay,
it's
so it's
effective
passed.
October 1st.
It's effective October 1st, okay. Well, we
So-
probably should get a copy of that and read it.
Yeah, how can we do that? So Kathy, to the extent that perhaps you want to make a motion to have our new accessory dwelling unit conform to the
Form
new
to the
state statutes,
Yes, that will be effective October 1st.
and you'll be able to then
I will check that.
include a copy of that state statute
Yeah,
in
just-
Yeah,
whatever we're sort of
Yeah.
producing in the public. Does that make sense?
Sure. So I'll make a motion that the regulations on accessory dwelling units conform to recently passed state statutes effective October 1st.
Moved
second.
and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none. Passes. Thank you. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay,
that gives the direction.
perfect. Okay. So
Now I need a date.
For an August
for an August
hearing, you
meeting,
mean?
Yeah,
in person.
I'm assuming you would like an in-person.
Yeah.
And what do we need to watch out for? Other than vacations and other things that end.
Vacations, I think.
But we want to do it after the
Yeah.
Council of Governments meeting.
Right,
So
so the
that-
Council of Government should be the
That
12th.
would not be until the 12th.
So would you want to do it on the 16th?
I am in Chicago.
Okay. You want to do it on 23rd?
That's good with me.
23rd works. Andrew,
Sure.
the 23rd,
6:30 here.
great.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. And that gives me time to do what I need to do before the other one becomes effective.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone walking through that.
Because then maybe you won't need a meeting in September. Which I'm kind of hoping because I'm on vacation that week. but you can do it without me.
Anything else we need to talk about on that topic?
Nope.
Great.
To date, I've not received an appeal.
I was just gonna ask that. So when was the publication?
The publication was on the 15th.
So it's been 15 days.
Yep. And we sent it to everybody. We sent it to attorneys Hollister, Brantz, Boggs, and then the Annika Lamar down at Yale. So,
Okay.
what can I tell you?
So, do we want any reports from Scrog?
I think that this was, number 2 is different from my report. Is this something you were gonna report on, Chris, with respect to the Regional Planning Committee?
No, I just put the appropriate title in there.
Oh. I thought it was that Regional Affordable Housing
No,
Committee of which you're a part. All right, well, I'm prepared. Hold on a second. You'll be sorry you asked. Thought I took it out already. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay. So there was a virtual meeting on June 10th. The action items were from the City of New Haven, a proposed zoning ordinance amendment to permit accessory dwelling units and +1 density increase in certain residential districts, which I understood to be just about every residential district in the City of New Haven. It was found not to have any intermunicipal negative impact nor environmental impact upon the Long Island Sound. And secondly, from the town of North Brentford, a proposed zoning regulation amendment to establish a new section to permit a multiple dwelling community submitted by a private applicant, and again found to not have any intermunicipal or negative intermunicipal impact or negative environmental impact. And there will be a meeting, as previously referenced, in 2 days. There appear to be action items from the City of New Haven, City of Meriden, and Town of Wallingford, which I will report on after that meeting. That's it.
Thank you, Andrew. Any questions for Andrew? Hearing none? Do we have any report from our zoning enforcement officer?
it's been pretty quiet.
Quiet is
Except
good.
except for the sign that got put up in the wrong place for the telecommunication tower that we have taken care of now. The notice sign for the public hearing got put at an address where it didn't belong, and that resident was not happy. So
Okay.
it has
When,
now been relocated to an appropriate location.
When is that public hearing?
The 13th, and it'll be via Zoom.
It'll be what?
Via Zoom.
Oh, Zoom. Are there typically only, is there typically only one public hearing? For
I
something?
don't know. You know,
Citing
we,
council, usually just one.
Just one?
yeah. I imagine it's the same as us. They can continue it if they need to.
I think there's also, because of Zoom, have you sign up in advance
Mhm.
to participate in that public meeting, and that sign up, I think, was maybe today.
I didn't read the whole sign when I saw it this morning, so.
Any other reports?
Just so you know, Kathy and I are both sitting on the Housing Opportunity Study Committee, so.
That's what I was referring
Yeah,
to.
so Kathy and I are both on that, and we're having another meeting, our first in-person meeting tomorrow night. So
You'll be
there's.
back here again tomorrow night.
She's just jumping in.
You never been here before, now here twice,
So with that one, the charge is more encompassing than just doing the, housing study that's been mandated be done by every municipality every 5 years. That actually is gonna be done with the help of the Council of Governments, because, they've hired a planner out of Boston to assist 13 of the 15 municipalities with writing theirs. 2 of the other municipalities are doing it on their own, but they're coordinating. So that component of it will be addressed through them, but with oversight by the Housing Committee itself. But then there are other components of the charge that the committee members will be looking at, so.
Okay.
And that's where we're at the moment.
Sounds good. Any minutes? I didn't.
I thought I sent them out to you, but quite frankly, no, not this time, the time before, but maybe
no.
not. So we'll just hang in there and,
Okay, remind us next time, though.
yeah,
to-
yeah.
to
I mean, the
relook at
drafts
those.
are in, so as long as the drafts are in, we're good. And if you want, what I may do is put them on the special meeting for August, just because I'm really not sure at the moment. I know of nothing in the pipeline that's supposed to come before you guys.
Okay.
So,
And send them out again and remind us. Please
Yeah.
look at these.
Yeah, and I'll read
So,
them.
yeah,
I'll
we'll read
them.
them if
Yeah,
you
I'll read
if you
them.
direct
send
us
them
to.
out, I'll read them.
yeah. No, we'll
Good.
send them out.
Okay.
Your job is to help critique and make sure that all my punctuation and all other good stuff is. There's the other Kathy we had, that's what she was very well
You
known
don't
for.
have to be in the editor role if you don't want. There are other capable editors that don't.
It's okay, I can hassle her.
Yes, you may. Anything else? Any other business?
No?
Hearing none. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
So moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you all. Okay, we're getting used to being back in person. This was
That was
different.
good.
It felt good.